Genius with incredible rage problems is on the run from the government, all while trying to cure himself.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
and Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 152.
hello everybody. Today
Hello.
you're gonna hear some real good banter on the Walt Vault.
We got nothing but good banter.
Lots of good banter.
Banter.
I've been watching some British people on TV. They got the banter.
talk about the banter about the banner.
The banner banter.
The banger banter.
This week.
This is not a banger. We cannot call it banger banter.
No, it's like a hit. You know, it's like a banger.
Yeah, but this isn't a banger.
It's a smasher.
How dare you? We smashed this podcast game.
I'm done.
No, seriously, this looks up.
Oh, the movie? Oh, we'll get there.
What did you think I was talking
I
about?
thought you were talking about our podcast.
Oh.
I was like, we're a banger, okay?
How dare you.
Why would we do a podcast episode to talk about a podcast?
Never mind. Moving on.
This week, we are talking about the 2008 live-action non-Disney film. This came out from
Universal.
The Incredible Hulk.
Let me just start by saying this is definitely a 2008 Universal movie, okay?
Yeah.
This is not a
Back in the-
2020 Marvel Disney movie.
For
in the
sure
day.
it's not. And it's technically the second movie in the Phase 1 lineup of Marvel, but it's the one everybody skips. Like, you know. So we decided, why not do it? We're not going to skip it. We're going to watch it.
I
Ain't
guess
gonna
I
skip.
suck because I haven't even seen the first one. Oops.
I
Well,
haven't either.
I did not
That's
realize
old,
this
though,
was the
right?
second
The
one.
2003
I thought this
one?
was like the first one.
The
So-
2003 one, baby?
Yes, 2003, directed by Ang Lee, starring Eric Bana as the Hulk. The movie is just called Hulk. This movie, it's not like a sequel. It's more of like a soft reboot where that first Hulk movie tells the story of how he like becomes the Hulk, and then in this movie they just kind of put that in a montage in the first 3 minutes, and then they're like, all right, remember all that? Okay, cool. Now we're here.
Well, and I like how they redo it, but with the new actors. Like, yeah, you good? We
Yeah.
good? All right, moving on.
Exactly.
It's almost like a continuation.
But it is a continuation in that, like, the relationship between Bruce and Betty is all kind of in that movie, and then the dad, General Ross, he's in that movie, and he's mad about all kinds of Hulk
He's
stuff.
always mad.
But
I got words about him.
But but that movie is not necessary to view this one, but I think it does help a little bit. But that movie is real bad.
Can
Alright.
I do first impression first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so my thought on just Marvel, whole phases and the timeline in general has been like, Hulk is not my favorite character, so I didn't feel like I needed super backstory because it was always explained to me like he had like a version of the super soldier serum, and in my mind I thought he was trying to become like a Captain America type, and he took this and it turned him into the Hulk, and that's why he's mad. So
Oh, okay.
that is good for me to have seen this because
Right.
he didn't want it.
No.
Like, this is
No,
not what
he
he
didn't.
wanted. So I guess in that way, I'm going to say, okay, cool, I'm glad I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of other ways, I'm like, okay, this was just for like fluff. I didn't feel like it was really necessary for a story.
Sure.
And it's hard for me because I feel like none of us can, well, maybe Andre and Luis, but I feel like me and Michelle can't be objective about Edward Norton.
No, I
Because
can't. Yeah.
We've seen Mark Ruffalo play Hulk for what, 10, 15 years? I don't know how many years. Like,
Since 2012.
like a legit, so 10 full years we've been watching him play this character. So there is nobody else but Mark Ruffalo in my mind. So to watch somebody else play it, it's like, I mean, I'll do it because we have to, but I'm not happy about it. So I feel like that makes it hard for me to like this movie.
Right.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm watching him on the screen, and he is playing a dude who's like kind of high strung, but like doesn't want to get mad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me mad.
You won't like me
I
when
can't
I'm
have sex with you.
hungry.
Right? But I feel like Mark Ruffalo plays the Hulk. Like, he's upset. He's freaking himself out so he doesn't get freaked out. Then he gets freaked out. Then after he's unfreaked out, he's getting pissed off because he was freaked out. It's just this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And I feel like Edward Norton was like, yeah, that sucked. All right, bye. You know? So I feel like it's hard to be like, yeah, this was great because of him.
Interesting.
I'm going to give my first impression after you because I kind of agree. I have an issue with just whatever the first actor I see play a character, whether it's Batman or whatever, like that's my Batman, is that
Christian Bale.
He's my Batman, and anytime I watch another Batman movie, I'm like, whatever. And Tom Holland is my Spider-Man because I didn't see the other ones, you know? So when we go back and watch it with Andrew Garfield, I'm like, whatever, Andrew.
Dude, Tobey Maguire, you're too young.
Toby.
Didn't you make me watch that one?
I made you watch the first one, but you refused to watch 2
Because
and 3.
Tom Holland is my Spider-Man. I have an issue with that. So much like Emily saying, like, Edward Norton.
Face and Spider-Man's life.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
you get it.
Edward Norton plays a very different Hulk than Mark Ruffalo. I love Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk because I don't really care about the Hulk, and he makes it a little bit more of a dynamic character that I enjoy. Edward Norton
gives him dimension, I think.
Kind of whatever. I don't think the movie was bad. It was a good Hulk movie if you like Hulk, you know? Like, it wasn't horrible. I enjoyed watching it, but it didn't feel like it was part of Phase 1. The only thing that felt like it was part of Phase 1, like even seeing Iron Man at the end, I was like, whatever. It was just Ross.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm really happy I rewatched this for Ross because now I hate him even more in Civil War when he's giving the Sokovia Accords. Like, F you, Ross. I don't want to deal with you. You're a freaking jerk. And I told Andre, I was like, oh, I'm really happy we watched this just so I saw more Ross stuff. So now when I watch Civil War again, I'm really going to be mad at him. I think like, get out of here with those Sokovia Accords, you jerk.
He's really awesome. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Absolutely not.
You learn from the first mistake, first triple bypass. Learn from that mistake, learn from the first mistake, and it's
Get to the second triple bypass, yeah.
Here's the interesting thing about him,
a lot of
especially
bypasses.
because we just watched Black Widow, where he was like the main antagonist. Well, he was an antagonist, like forcing her to go do this other side
Put
story,
her out
right?
on the run.
I found it really interesting that he is a common denominator for such a long period of time with 0 superpowers.
Right.
He's literally just the man, right? He's the government, he's the military leader, he's whatever. But he's still a constant threat, like a real constant threat.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to not have to see them fight, but see all this like psychological back warfare. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Same. I enjoyed seeing Ross being.
Yeah, I really liked the movie for him. So therefore, I did enjoy it only kind of for him. Like when Iron Man was talking to him at the end, I was like, get out of here. You were on his side in the Sokovia Accords. This is foreshadowing, you know? Like, I was just thinking about, like, Ross more of the time than, like, Hulk.
I wish y'all could have seen Michelle's foot say, get out of here, too.
Yeah, she's literally
To
kicking.
Ross.
So I did yesterday when your brother scared me in the door. I was like, rah, rah. Yeah, so it was, I enjoyed it, but he's not my Hulk, but it was still good. Luis, first impression.
I like Edward Norton, but this was
You didn't like him at all?
It's sad because he's a good actor.
I don't really
he's
think I've seen
he's a
his
great
stuff
actor.
a lot.
it just seemed like he's like
Fight Club.
I guess I'll do it. Hulk here, I love you here. Yeah, my job's done.
Yeah, like he didn't put effort, huh?
Didn't seem like he put effort.
Yeah.
Little gangly man.
Gangly.
You like the Hulk, right, Luis? Yeah. Still be a lame movie, even
he's
though you like the
hulky.
Hulk.
You know.
Luis loves Liv Tyler though.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the deal.
She
Love me
just
some
got that
Liv.
face. It's like
Betty?
Yeah, Betty.
Yeah.
Betty.
Aowen. No,
Yeah.
she's not Aowen. She's
She's the other one.
Heroin. Dude, they're the
Heroin?
names.
This is
Erwin.
like
Aragon.
Tyler.
Aragon. Wrong movie.
Her lips. She just looks like she's always ready to like.
Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
them Steven Tyler lips.
She's got that face.
you
For
know?
sure.
She's got that Aerosmith mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude looks like a lady.
Oh my goodness.
But only after Aerosmith had a paternity.
Yeah. I mean,
Did he really? How rude.
How rude.
Yeah,
Andre,
you
first
see that
impression
mouth?
of.
No, actually, I think like he just got. I
Oh.
think I read something that he got more involved in her life later on.
Interesting.
Well,
So he
moving on
didn't.
from
He didn't really enjoy it.
the lesser
Andre, first
character.
impression of the Incredible Hulk.
I liked this movie a lot more than I was expecting to.
upon this viewing or in general.
Upon this viewing, because as we've said, Edward Norton is not necessarily my Hulk, but he was the best Hulk for a moment, because he's technically the second Hulk. Mark Ruffalo is my third Hulk. The first Hulk was Eric Bana in 2003.
And you said that movie was crap,
that
right?
movie is terrible.
So you're probably comparing
it's
it.
really bad. Yeah, so I am comparing this movie directly to that one. And this movie is just so much more well put together than that movie. And Edward Norton, I think he does a pretty satisfying job as a version of Bruce Banner to me. I just think that the Mark Ruffalo version is far superior.
Definitely.
You know, like by the time that they got to this one, they're like, hey, how about you play Bruce as this type of character? And it's like, okay, this is pretty good. And then when we get to Avengers and Mark Ruffalo's playing, and he's like, oh, this is a way more evolved, deeper, more driven type of character than what Edward Norton did.
Yeah, like I just cared about the Hulk more when it was Ruffalo.
Right. So apparently, the director of this movie, Louis Leterrier, he wanted Mark Ruffalo to be the Hulk, to be Bruce Banner. But
Skirt! Hey guys, it's Andre here. I just needed to interject for a minute because we were dealing with some new equipment during this episode, and it didn't work exactly as I wanted to. And by that I mean it like royally messed up while we were recording and made us all sound like we were talking underwater. So I had to delete like the next 10 minutes or so of the conversation. But we started the plot. We talked about Bruce getting a job at the factory. We talked about Stan Lee and his cameo where he drinks irradiated gamma blood and dies. And we talked about some of his old cameos in Marvel movies, going all the way back to the early Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men films, and all the way through Avengers Endgame. So I'm really sorry that you don't get to hear any of that because I messed it up. But the rest of the episode sounds pretty good, except for Luis, who you may have noticed by now, his mic is not working very well. So I've pumped him up as best as I can throughout the episode, and hopefully you can hear most of the things he has to say, as he said a lot of good things. Rare for Luis. Not just kidding. Okay, anyway, back to the episode. Thanks.
They didn't
I'm
really
not sure,
do
I'm not-
much with that. I was like, okay, she's gone now.
I don't really know who she
he
is
literally
or
went in
whatever.
through her window and was like, bite.
What's up, girl? Let me get a smooch.
She was
Peace.
cute though.
She was unbelievably gorgeous. I can't understand why she's looking at Edward Norton. But I couldn't.
Did you see the other men in the warehouse?
Couldn't-
I would have gone after him too.
He has all his teeth frozen.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Why she's working in that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was weird.
yeah. Get out of here, girl. Follow your dreams. So yeah, I had
Your
to
less sweaty dreams.
couldn't
okay?
suspend my disbelief for that. But yeah.
Oh
so,
my God. You got gamma radiation? Cool. You know.
So Bruce is in there protecting her from the bullies of the factory, and the factory bullies they're just out for blood. You know, they really want to mess Edward Norton up.
They're insensitive to his eating.
Yes, exactly. So all this time
So
he's been practicing his breathing. He has a heart rate monitor that he wears on his wrist. And if his heart rate gets too high, if he gets too excited,
200. If it gets to 200, he'll Hulk out.
He will Hulk out.
So freaking Ross hired a team of military men, just top shooters or fighters or whatever, and took them to go find the Hulk. And he gave them as little information as possible, like this dude's dangerous. Trank him on site.
He's
I was like,
implicated in
I would have been like,
murders.
why are we tranking him? Like, why aren't we killing
Why won't
him
we
if
just
he's
shoot
so
him?
trank him? Like, you all didn't want to question that?
I don't know about real military and how it goes, but usually you know as far as you know, and that's it. And you go with that.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think I would have
I don't know if
Need to know.
that's a real military thing or that's a Hollywood military thing.
maybe.
Well, I told you. I said the exact same thing, Michelle. I was like,
I would have questioned
So
if
you're-
he's so dangerous. Why aren't we killing him? Why are we tranking him?
you don't. Well, that military-wise, you don't have it. You don't get.
But
to
I
ask
would
those
be
questions.
curious.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like this is a special situation. You're literally taking me to a foreign country. You're making me break in to places.
They needed more
Seems
Rank
information.
somebody.
illegal.
Like, can you at least tell me what we're up? Like,
Or that you don't stand a chance against. You're basically just pigs for slaughter. But
Yeah.
Ross doesn't care, you know.
Right.
I get your guys' concern.
he should have been like, if he gets away, you're going to die. So trank him.
Right.
You gotta suspend disbelief because at some point I really do think they're trying to emulate the chain of command.
I get it. But
Yeah.
I also think Ross is a DICK
Oh yeah,
and
he
doesn't
does not
care.
So
You know?
these are the questions that Emil Blonsky is asking. Emil is he's this
I would have been asking
he's
too.
this hotshot sharpshooter. He's like
Yeah.
48 years old or whatever. He's still
No, he's 40.
Oh, he's 39.
I
he
think there
says.
was one point where he was like, "You're 45, right?" And he was like, "I'm 39."
I'm
He
39,
was
sir.
like, "It takes a toll on you,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it?"
So he's this old dude who's still very active in on the front lines of the military.
He loves-
You
he wants
say
to
old
fight.
dude. We are not far off from 39.
I know, and I'm feeling like an old dude. Okay, I
He
ain't
wants
trying
to fight. He doesn't want to be a general or whatever. So
Right. He doesn't want to take a command post. He's a fighter.
yeah, a fighter.
So he's the one asking all these questions about like who are we going after? What is this mission? What are we actually doing here? I gotta know my enemy before I get in there and rip him
And
to
he
shreds.
basically tells him, "You know what you need to know."
Exactly. So they go in and attempt to extract Banner. And Bruce, he's got a little puppy, and
Oh, his puppy's so cute.
his puppy is
Dude,
alerts him in the
yes,
of the
his
thieves in the
puppy
night.
alerts him, and they go in, and Bruce had run away, and they freaking. As soon as he put a tranquilizer in the dog, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this fool. He just tranked a cute little puppy.
Well, you and Addie both.
Sleep, get over it.
You and Addie both. Addie was like, "What they do to a dog?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, Louise was like,
Yeah, but we don't know how strong those tranks were. I bet they were super strong. You don't know that. You don't know that.
No more Daddy Bruce. You know.
I didn't like that. That was very rude. Is that what you told Addie? They woke
never
up.
saw the dog wake up, Louise.
Is that what you guys told Addie? To wake
Yeah,
up?
Louise
Gonna wake up.
Oh, you know what they should have done?
If it lowers your heart rate so low that you die, then you kind of don't wake up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there's a small dog with a high dose of trank. That dog was dead.
They should have shown the dog hanging out with him in Canada at the very end. You know,
Right.
The
just
dog
walking
didn't
around in the
follow
background.
him.
He should have went back.
That dog did it.
Yeah. I will find
He's
my
not.
Hulk.
What's the Togo? He's not Togo.
Teamed up with a chinchilla somewhere.
Yeah, he had a little
Move
Balto
along
adventure
in the
somewhere.
story so I can get to the part where I can complain.
Anyway,
Well, I just care about the dogs.
Edward
No,
Norton
I
is
feel
now
you.
on the run in Brazil, right? All these armed soldiers are after him. He runs into the
The
factory
factory.
bullies, and they're like, "Hey, Gringo, what's up, man?" And then, and then
They
he,
Hold on,
sound. They
pause.
sound like the
Pause,
like a
because Luis
chihuahua.
had a thing he thought was so funny.
yeah,
Very interesting how they call him Gringo. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it, it's an American thing, but it's funny because he turns green, goes and he can't.
Oh my gosh!
He's there, but not really.
I don't think anybody thought of that except for Luis, and that is very funny. Gringo.
hey, he's green and he's going. Look at him go, Gringo.
He thought it was so funny.
Oh my
That's
God.
hilarious, Luis. That's hilarious. Because we're laughing because we never would have thought of that. Like, that's really funny. I like that.
That definitely would be like one of those moments where you're like, dude,
Oh, that is.
between my soberness and that,
Hey, Gringo.
sober.
That is the best Luisism that I've heard in quite some
That's
time.
really funny. I like that.
So Mr. Gringo, he
Mr. Gringo.
oh, by the way, he's been communicating on the internet with one person,
Mr.
a
Blue.
dude named Mr. Blue. He's trying to
Hey, Mr. Blue.
he's trying to yes, Buster Scruggs. He's trying to cure himself. He does not want to be the Hulk anymore. So he's trying to synthesize a cure, and Mr. Blue is helping him by sending him like samples of
Flowers
and things that he can synthesize to cure himself. But it's not working. So he has to send a blood sample off to Mr. Blue so he can do further research. So all these homies are chasing Bruce Banner. He's running. He's trying to keep his heart rate low. It's climbing up there. It's at like 187. He's like, oh boy, this is too much. He goes through the factory. The factory bullies come in and they start messing with him.
They started beating him up.
They start beating him up. His heart rate is climbing. It's at 191. He's like, oh, you guys, you really don't know what you're about to do. This is not going to be good. And they throw the final punches or whatever.
200.
And he hits 200. Also, Blonsky and his men show up and start tranquilizing these dudes. So the ruckus is about to begin.
And he hulks.
He hulks all the way out.
I like that his eyes turn green before like the rest of him, so then I could like foreshadow. Okay, like now he's gonna be the Hulk. I thought that was cool.
Right, and they use it really well. Throughout the movie.
Yeah, I like that.
To show that he's about to.
That's cool.
About to Hulk out.
And if you think about it, that's like the equivalent to us seeing him actually Hulk out in the other movies. Because in this one, you don't see it as fully as you do in the Avengers movies.
The transformation, we only see him fully transformed like one time when he's strapped to the table.
It's really gross
at the end of the movie, and it is really gross. But yeah, in the Avengers movies, we see it.
So the eyeballs kind of are like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there he comes. He's hulking. So he starts just mercilessly murdering all these dudes in here. He's just tearing this factory apart.
He's mad.
He mad. He big mad.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash, he's smashing. He said, "Leave me alone." And Blonsky and his men are coming in with their tranquilizers. They're trying to shoot him. They don't pierce his skin. And he's very scary. It's like, switch to live rounds. Switch to live rounds. Use the bullets. Use the bullets. The bullets also do not work. They are getting torn apart.
He's the Hulk.
He is the Hulk. So
well, and they had no idea, so they're like, WTF.
Right. They're like, I thought we were chasing a scientist. What is this?
And also,
Does Ross give them the go to switch the bullets?
yeah.
I don't know if Ross okays that,
And
but
the reason why I'm saying this is like, what kind of general are you, Ross? They're consistently ignoring your orders and thinking on their own. How do you become a damn defense secretary or whatever?
I mean, yeah. You think he as many failures as he's had, he has never caught the Hulk, not a once.
To your orders.
But he climbs that political ladder. So they have this drag out fight or whatever, and the Hulk just stomps through all of them. Blonsky survives, but he's like fascinated. He's like, what in the world was that thing? I've never fought something like that. I was not prepared at all, but I need to fight it again. And
I was like, wow, okay, it's Ultimate Fighter. We're moving along.
He's got to get back in the ring with the big green go.
The green go.
So Bruce wakes up like several days later. He is no longer in Brazil. He is now in Guatemala. He doesn't have a shirt. He only has pants. He's like, oh, big.
This is where Emily had to get out her geography map, aka Luis, and I'm like, okay, hold on. Guatemala's like multiple countries away. Like multiple.
Yes.
It's on the border of Mexico.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, good for him.
He hulked north.
he had a direction. He got there.
Yeah, so the Hulk, and this is something that's shown in that previous movie as well, is that he can jump just crazy long distances, right? We've seen that a little bit in the Avengers movies, but like that's a main source of his travel when he's hulked out, is that he'll just jump for miles and miles and miles.
I'm just saying, no one's spotted.
That's a great question. I don't know how Ross wasn't right on his tail.
Through the night,
maybe, but even
just
still, somebody's gonna be like, did you hear that gigantic thump and these two size 48 footprints that are right here?
He's going through those jungles, man.
Yeah. He's jumping through the jungles.
And then he's ending up right next to a road.
It's
pretty awesome.
You know, so he once he turns back into Bruce, he proceeds to hitchhike his way north.
Okay, this was my major qualm.
Go ahead, because you're going to have the same qualm, and Luis is going to try to explain it away like it's normal.
This person hitchhiked his way with no money all the way to Virginia in 15 days.
The exact same thing I said.
Walking
exactly how I said it, too.
Freaking forest.
Dude.
You think you could do that?
No offense, but like, wouldn't be uncommon.
Right. That's the thing. Is when your life is on the line, you got to make some moves, and you got to go north and hop some fences. You know, you gotta keep moving forward.
I think that's highly, highly unrealistic.
No, it's not, dude.
It would have taken him at least a month.
If they said that he got into the United States in 15 days, then I would have been like, all right. Like, you went through Mexico, came up into the United States, but then he was like all the way to Virginia? All the way to Virginia in 15 days.
I thought it was highly unrealistic.
I mean,
Agreed.
I think
I think men don't care about details, so they're like,
that's not true. That's not true.
Trust me, do it.
This man is one of the smartest men on on Earth, right? Like,
Well, then there's my problem because he never looked smart in this movie.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he always looks like garbage.
He's synthesizing all this fake cure that is not going to work on himself. He's like, do.
He is not
Science.
He does not look like a scientist in this movie. He's
I
like
agree.
Ant-Man being a like freaking master engineer, but not actually doing
Right.
anything.
Right.
I don't believe it. Go ahead.
I think it's possible for him to have made his way up there, to have outsmarted some of the authorities and hitchhike his way with some Bruce Banner charm all the way up to to Northern Virginia.
Stretchy?
My stretchy? I need the stretchy pants. These freaking Hulk waists.
I don't know.
No joke. So anyway, yeah, he does eventually make it up there.
How's that possible? No way.
It's not gonna help. Your pants are gonna rip either way, dude.
Yeah.
Only the original material used can cover the surface mass of the Hulk. It just
The area is
defies
huge.
Yeah,
everything.
every time he turns his size 28 pants into size 52 Hulk pants, you know.
How does your dang-a-wang does not just come out
Yeah.
and just be showing?
The scariest thing about the Hulk is what's under those pants.
That's designed by Tony Stark. It's not happening.
Yeah, dude, some
Yeah.
Ant-Man pants that grow and shrink or whatever.
That's a good
the
idea.
suit. so he makes his way up there. He goes back to his original hometown, his university where he used to work at, and he starts trying to hit up Betty. Right? He spies on her from a distance. He's like, "Oh snap, it's my girl." And then he thinks that she sees him for a hot second. He's like, "Oh snap, she saw me," but no, she just got a new man.
Yeah, 5 years later, I'd have a new man. Yeah.
I thought I was the one, and then I Gringoed.
He left her. I get that he had to be under hiding and stuff, but
She had every right.
Listen,
he left her.
her dad was going to kill him if he stayed around, you know, or use
coulda
him
tried
for
harder.
use him for nefarious purposes. It's not like he can just like stay. He
He
had
could
to
just
go.
Hulk out and steal her and then run away.
She does.
Yeah,
5 years
he
later.
does do
Yeah.
that, and then also, you know, he has no control over himself when he's the Hulk.
So let's talk about who she's dating because I thought I was going to piss myself.
Yeah?
So she's dating the
Piss
homie
myself.
Ty Burrell from Modern Family.
Oh,
And
because you've been watching that.
very
It was so
recognizable.
funny for him to be like a psychologist.
Oh, hey, buddy.
He's like, I don't know if I can believe what you're saying. I know that you're a liar.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I always wondered why she didn't talk about you. Now I
no,
get
I don't. Like, yep, Phil's coming out. Quite hilarious. I had a very good time with that.
yeah, so she's got a new boyfriend. He seems like a perfectly
He seems like
nice,
a cool guy.
perfectly nice dude.
But
Bruce,
he's totally Bruce
yeah,
in a psychiatrist instead of a
right, instead of a
Yeah, for
regular
sure.
scientist.
For sure.
scientist, smart person. She just jumped into the brain instead
Yep.
of the body. So he hangs out with like their old pizza dad. I don't know who this
That
guy is.
was so weird.
They go to this pizza shop where this dude is like, "Oh,
Pizza
Bruce, I missed you guys. You used to be so beautiful together." And
I always believed you.
I always
Bruce.
believed in you.
And do you like how it was called Stanley's?
Yes, yeah, that's cool. Cool pizza shop, and that dude kind of looked like
I know. At
Stanley
first,
with,
I was
with
like,
crazier
is he?
hair.
Oh no, that's not him. But he kind of looks like him.
So he starts staying here, and one night Betty and new boyfriend come in, Phil, and she actually does see him for a split second, right? She sees Bruce. He slips out the back, and then she's like, New boyfriend who? I had never heard of this dude before in my entire life. She gets up, she runs out after him. And Ty Burrell's like, "Hey babe, is everything okay? what's going on?" And she's like, "Stop talking to me. You don't matter at all
bye.
anymore. Get away from me." She goes and runs after Bruce, finds out where he is.
We don't know how long they've been together. You know, she might just been a couple months and been like, all right, what else?
Like regardless, her
She don't care.
her love was never lost for
Yeah,
for
she
Bruce
never
Banner.
like broke up with him. It was
Right.
just like a
I
bye.
like how she finds him in the rain,
Yeah.
in the dark, and is like,
It's you.
Aragorn.
Yeah, and then they have like a wet Spider-Man kiss or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She takes him back to her place. They have separate beds. It's very disappointing for Bruce.
And everyone.
and everyone.
I don't need to see Edward Norton doing it, so I'm good.
So she's
He's so scraggly.
Yeah, he is.
she's completely on his side, right? Like she never took favor with the general or anything like that. She's not aligned with her
hasn't
dad.
even spoken
and
to
his
her dad
goals.
since
Right.
the incident.
She hasn't spoken to him in a few years. She also took the data, the Hulk data that when they originally changed him into the Hulk. She took it all off of their servers and has it on a private USB stick.
That move was clutch on her part.
Yeah, she did good. She's like, I got in there before they deleted it all, which is nice.
It's to show the times. You see how freaking long that thing
Oh yeah, it's a big old USB stick.
Banana.
Big old USB stick. So Ross is still, on the hunt. He thinks that he knows that Bruce is back in town. And so he gathers the army together. Blonsky, who wants another go around with the Hulk, he's like, hey, what do y'all got? I know you guys got some that you could inject into me.
Goodies.
What's the super soldier stuff that you can put in?
He's more fascinated with the Hulk. Like, I know he's like, I want to defeat it, but he's like, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he's like infatuated
He's
with
like,
the
this
Hulk.
thing is
Yeah.
awesome. I'm trying to.
Can I date you?
I want a Gringo too.
Go too.
So Blonsky gets this experimental super soldier serum that they had developed long after Captain America, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect, so we're gonna give you a very, very low dose. We're just gonna give you a little bit of serum, just a little in your neck and a little in your back.
Ooh, that was nasty.
Yeah. And
Straight into the bone.
straight into the bone marrow. It's like the bone marrow ones are gonna hurt, and it
Yeah.
looks really painful
Nasty.
when they're shoving it into his back.
Yeah.
Dude, I told them, give me a minute. I'd probably do that for free.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, give me just a little bit of serum. My back hurts.
Just
Okay,
a little bit, please.
just a little bit of serum.
I'm saying, like, I could donate my bone marrow for about a good 30 grand.
Oh, yeah, because they ask you, like, they have donation banks for bone marrow.
bone marrow transplants
It
stuff.
really hurts.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
yeah, it's painful. That's where all your nerves are. So Blonsky now has a little bit of super soldier serum in him. They go to the college where they assume Bruce is hiding. They find him and Betty. She's been helping him out all night or whatever. And they find him. They begin their attack. He runs inside the building, swallows the USB stick.
Gross.
Which is,
I was like, why didn't he stick it up his butt like a normal person?
he's got to run. Okay, he's got places to be. You can't just be
I
putting
don't
stuff
think
up
I
your butt.
could.
You ask a man, what would you rather?
I don't think I could swallow that.
Up your butt, up down your throat. I'd be like,
Is there, and
And they gave him another dose.
So-
and he
Hold
looks
on.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
missed the part where they shoot over to Blonsky in the hotel, in the hotel thing where they get you better.
in the
Called
hospital.
the hospital. So he's in the hospital
him
and he
another
looks like
He is in full traction.
Traction,
where
yeah. And he looks like he has like hamburger for face.
exactly.
And
yeah.
his hands look like Doctor Strange.
He looks like he got run over with one of those
Ugh.
steamroller things.
It's disgusting.
But he got serum, so he okay.
Yes.
But
So
he just didn't have a full dose.
And then
I
Ross comes back like 4 hours later, and he's like, "Hey, boss, how you
hey,
doing?
what's going on, dude? I'm
yeah,
ready.
give me some of that serum.
Let's
Good
go.
to go."
Round 2. Ding ding.
Yeah,
So
and Ross gives him more like an idiot.
so yes, he gets a second injection of this faulty super soldier serum, right? And so the reason that this super soldier serum isn't as potent as like the Captain America stuff is that it makes people crazy, right? So he is slowly losing his mind as time goes on, and he's getting all sweaty and pale.
I like when Iron Man at the end is like, dude, I told you that was on ice for a reason.
I prefer hardware myself. So Blonsky is up in here. They're trying to take out Bruce Banner. They shoot tranquilizers in there. One of them hits Bruce, and he actually starts to go night sleepy time
Because he's not hulked out
because
yet.
he's not hulked out. But Blonsky, he wants to fight the Hulk. That's so he goes in there. He's like, "Come on, let it out. Where's it at?" He's
so
slapping him in the face,
ridiculous.
and he realizes that it's not going to work. So he hits him with a gun and knocks him out. So they have captured Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. Blonsky stays behind with Dr. Stearns. He's like, "So what's up? You gonna hook me up? I want more. I want what he's got. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me." And Stearns is like, "Science, let's do it." I love me some science. So they inject him.
If you're a scientist, I don't like you
Yeah.
by nature. You sound like someone who's going to it up for the rest of us.
Oh, I like
I
scientists.
don't like you.
Just not this crazy one.
Yeah, but how long until you become a crazy one, okay?
Must
Oh,
we
no.
play God? And Stern is like, yeah, we gotta.
Yes, we must.
Yes, we
I take
can.
it back. I really appreciate what you do, but at the same time,
It's a lot.
play God ethically, okay?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, ethically. Yeah.
He's like, I couldn't play God with the rats. They
He's
kept
like, I got
dying.
informed consent. Let's do it.
Yeah, he needed informed consent from
It
Blonsky.
doesn't know what's in his body.
Which
but
you have
all right.
given. So he gives him some Hulk blood on top of his double dose of super soldier serum.
And he becomes the
And
abomination.
He abominates. He gets real big.
He's so ugly.
Funniest thing is that Buster Scruggs doctor is like, wait. Go ahead and sit down on the table. I can reverse this. I'm like,
Reverse
how
it.
can you reverse that? Like, what?
The antidote?
Yeah, I guess he was gonna use the same.
He turned into the abomination. Hold on. Sit down and I can go ahead and reverse this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why he's an abomination, because it's done.
that.
He definitely can't.
The reversing that, like.
He wouldn't be able to synthesize the same kind of antidote because he's got all kinds of super soldier serum in there that he hasn't accounted for. You know,
That's a mess.
it's a mess. It is an abomination what this guy turns into.
So, and then the abomination knocks out the doctor, and some of the blood goes onto his head, and his head starts growing big. And I was like, "What is that?" And Andre said he's a villain, but they never do anything about that.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be set up for like possibly a second Hulk movie or something like that. Because Dr. Stearns in the comics, he becomes a supervillain called the Leader, where he has a giant head that's full of brains. So he's a super smart, super intellectual dude or whatever. And I think he has like some psionic powers and can pick stuff up with his mind and stuff like that. But we don't get that far quite yet. But who knows? Maybe this guy will show up again at some point in the MCU. I have faith because there's more Hulk stuff to come.
That's true. She-Hulk.
She-Hulk will be coming out on the Disney Plus, and I think we're going to revisit some of this Incredible Hulk stuff
That'd be cool.
in that show. So, Abomination is out on the town.
He's so ugly, dude.
he's really gross.
He looks like something from the Mummy.
He's really bony, and he's like bony, muscly, and he's out there wreaking havoc in the streets of New York. So after the Abomination is out on the run.
He's literally destroying New York.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm angry. Bring out the Hulk. Let me have a fight. General
He's
Ross,
like picking up cars and throwing them just because.
Yeah, General Ross has Betty and Bruce on a helicopter.
Yeah, they're arrested.
And he's like, all right, let's take them away. Let's go experiment on this dude or whatever. They realize that the Abomination is tearing stuff up, and Bruce is like, you got to send me back out there, dude. I'm the only one that can stop this thing. And General Ross is like, are you crazy? I've been trying to catch you this whole movie. You think I'm going to let you out there now? And he's like,
he says to send the whole army battalion or something, and he's like, dude, that's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Like
at
we already
all.
saw it didn't work with the Hulk.
Right. Like, why would you think that this was a good idea? You're so stupid.
And then I think Betty was all mad. She was like, really, Dad? You gave him serum? Like, really? And he was like,
Oh, well, you see what happened
Not
was
me.
I injected him, and then I ejected him again.
So you did it 3 times and you feel great about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't do the 3rd time.
Oops. This
Yeah,
is what's going to lead to
we
3
didn't know he was gonna
triple
turn into
bypasses for me in the future. So
This is why I redeem myself with the Sokovia Accords,
Yeah.
where I say nay to
nay,
all of you.
no more
Okay.
superheroes who can think for themselves. So
I want to weaponize them.
they send out Bruce. He's like, well, I'm kind of cured right now. I don't know if I'm actually going to turn into the Hulk or not. So he jumps out of the helicopter.
And Betty kisses him and is like, you don't have to do this.
He's like, I gotta do it, girl.
He jumps out of the helicopter. He does not Hulk out and crashes into the ground.
He expects to Hulk out midair, right? He's like, my heart rate is at 200. I should be hulking out, but his eyes are blue. They are not.
And he's
green.
all, oh.
He hits the ground. Boom. It's a
And
big
Betty's
hit.
all,
She's like, Daddy, what did you do?
And how does he not die?
Well,
well, he Hulks out after that.
Yeah,
Hulk won't let him die.
correct. So in my mind,
I think that's the hard part that I don't understand about the
Andre
Hulk
said
is that,
he either Hulks out when he's angry, or if he's almost dead, then he'll Hulk out, and the Hulk will save him.
in my mind, the Hulk and Bruce Banner are 2 entities that are occupying the same brain and body. So if Bruce Banner is about to die, the Hulk is going to be like, nah. It's Hulk time. And so he'll transform.
Kind of like the lava lamp. You know how the lava lamp is always on the top, it
It's like the oil and water type thing.
Right, exactly.
So then, do you think that's why on Sakaar he was just
He
Hulk
was-
all the
he
time
was stayed
because he was going to
Hulk.
be dead if he didn't stay Hulk?
No, he was just angry all the time there. He has more control by that point.
And the Hulk in that movie, in Thor Ragnarok, he's a little bit smarter. He's talking
He's like,
more and
"Hey,
stuff like
Hulk,
that.
no Banner.
So I think he has taken control of the body and
He's
mind.
like pushed Banner away.
He's pushed
Yeah.
Banner out. Yes, exactly. Which happens sometimes. And then by the time they get to Endgame, they have merged, and so Hulk,
Symbiotic
Hulk and Banner are in a
relationship.
symbiotic relationship. Yes. So that's the many different phases of the Hulk. But right here, Hulk has to take over because that little
'Cause baby about
antidote.
to die.
Yeah, that little antidote that they injected into him. You know, it stopped him from changing automatically at 200, but he's still in there ready to roll. So he Hulks out, and then it's basically just like 25 minutes of a drag out fight between Hulk and the Abomination in Harlem. So they're tearing it up in there. They're fighting. Hulk takes a cop car, smashes it in half, uses it as boxing gloves, beats the crap out of Abomination for a little bit, which is cool. That's some stuff from the video game, dude. You could take a car, just rip it in half, and bang. No, for real? Yeah. We're
I
gonna
think it was
we're gonna
supposed to
download
be
this
like
thing.
like Betty and Ross are watching from the plane, and he's like, Ross, Abomination, get down here. And so he like grabs the helicopter and it crashes, and he's trying to kill them or whatever. And freaking the Hulk, because he has like these bone claws that come out of his elbows.
Yeah.
He like grabs the bone claw, rips it out of his body, and then like stabs it into him. I was
Into
like, oh,
Abomination's chest. Yeah.
jeez.
It's rough. Also, another fantastic thing that the Hulk does here is when the helicopter catches on fire, like oil.
Oh, I thought this was stupid.
Oil is spilling out of it. Flames reach it. It's about to be engulfed, and Betty and Ross are in the helicopter. Hulk sees this, and he just does a big thunderclap. He goes clap, and then it puts out all of the fire. It's amazing. It's one of the coolest Hulk powers. It's the big Hulk thunderclap.
And he says Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. And when he does that, he smashes the ground, and it like does a zigzag over to the Abomination and like hits him. It's cool.
So it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anyways, he defeats the Abomination.
He defeats the Abomination. He stabs him with his own bone in his chest, and then
Like, chokes him out.
he chokes him out with a big old chain. And Hulk is victorious, right?
He doesn't kill him though, because Betty's like,
Betty stops him from killing the Abomination for some reason.
just kill him.
I really don't know why. Like logically, it was like, yeah, let this happen. But she stops it, and from there, Hulk jumps away and escapes from New York and General Ross. And General Ross, I guess, is like, well, the Hulk saved me, but I still don't like that big old green guy.
He just runs away.
He runs
That's about
away.
it, right? That's the end.
That is about it. We cut
Well, he's like
to
in British Columbia in
Yes.
a house by
we
himself.
cut to like a month
And he's
later.
like meditating, and his eyes turn green. So we are assuming he's learning to control the Hulk.
Correct. Yes. So at this point, this is like right
He's like
before
WandaVision.
where we see him in the Avengers, where he can change into the Hulk at will, basically, which is cool. And then we see the post-credit scene. Well, it's not even post-credit. It's like right at the credits, where General Ross
They're getting you
is.
ready for the idea of post-credit scenes.
Yes, exactly. General Ross is feeling very defeated. He's at a bar. He's drinking heavily.
It's so annoying. Instead of like another one or another round, he says reload,
Reload.
reload, reload.
Reload.
Like his drink. I
It's
was
so
like,
weird.
oh my gosh.
You're really
He
getting
needs
into
to at
this.
least have the Thor.
Yeah. He's
Another one.
really getting into this general thing a little bit too much. But he says reload a bunch of times. He has like 4 or 5 drinks in the span of 6 seconds. And then Tony Stark, another heavy drinker, walks in. And he's like, hey, General, what's going on? I heard you got whooped up. And he's like, we'll never be able to control the Hulk. and Tony Stark's like, well, guess what? We're putting a team together. So we got Hulk on deck. And like,
And that's it.
yeah, that's basically it. It's just to kind of tie in the fact that the Avengers are aware of the Hulk and
There
want
is
him.
no Avengers at
want
that
him on
point,
the
so
team.
it's just Iron Man.
It's just Iron Man and
Yeah,
Nick
but
Fury.
he's out there wanting to make it.
He wants a team.
It's not even
It's not
going.
Thor yet. Thor hasn't even come out.
Did I say Thor?
Yeah. Did you say Iron Man and Thor? You just said Iron Man.
I said it was Iron Man and Nick
Oh,
Fury.
oh, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How dare you think of Thor?
I love Thor.
You?
yeah, the idea is we're going to put a team together. We've marked these certain individuals out there. Hulk is one of them. And our only contact to the Hulk is General Ross. So I guess we're going to go to him, even though he has literally zero control over the Hulk is.
He has zero control over anything. His life, his daughter's life. You failed military.
And that's the incredible Hulk. That's the whole movie, you know. It's there, and we'll see Edward Norton as Banner, and goodbye, sir. And I guess we'll see Ross as well. Like she never Banner again. But they do reference her a little bit in the Avengers movies because Age of Ultron. They have what's called Veronica, the Hulk Buster, and that is on Eddie and Veronica, right? So Eddie is his love interest. Veronica from Archie. Archie and Eddie and Veronica. Eddie was a good one. Veronica was a mean one or whatever. So Veronica in the Archie comic and Riverdale. Yeah. And Bruce is he's Archie, I guess. It's a weird connection to me, but Betty's real life woman who can calm the Hulk down. And that's Veronica's gigantic suit of armor that will tear the Hulk up. So that's the Hulk. Overall, I thought it's a solid movie, not terrible. I think it's better than Fourth World.
That's bottom tier. Fourth World. It had where I don't remember what happened. I don't watch him longer. I remember, but I feel like that one that you have just a taste for. I feel like I blocked it out because I can't even tell you the plot. I don't know the plot. I remember that big thing at the end, like there's like the
it's one of the worst Marvel ones. The one isn't a hero movie. It's not as good as anything else in there. Yeah. That was a good one. He lost his mom. He ended up thriving at the end of the day.
Okay, money.
So this movie had a budget of $157 million. It ended up with a worldwide gross of $263.4 million. So it made money. It made the most money in the world, but it did do good. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a 67% on tomato meter, but an audience score of 70%. The critics
about the same.
Yeah, the critics' consensus says The Incredible Hulk may not quite be the smashing success that fans of Marvel's raging behemoth might hope for, but it offers more than enough big green action to make up for its occasionally puny narrative.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that too. So I'll give my score first. I think I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. It is good all around. I did enjoy watching it this time. There are fun moments. There's funny things that happen. There are cool things that happen. I really like Emil Blonsky's character. I think he's a very interesting villain who's just like in it for the fight or whatever. And
He has no other reason than just like
right.
Yeah, he's just ready to do it.
Sure.
He's ready to throw down. Exactly. Yes. Come on. Let's go.
Do we know what happens to him after this?
So no, we haven't seen him again since this. So Hulk chokes him out, but he's still alive.
Sure.
And then Hulk runs away. We assume that General Ross and the government takes Abomination back into custody or something.
It would have been
like
sick to see him on the raft or something at some point.
that. Right. So the only other image that we've seen of him in the MCU is from the most recent Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings trailer, right? So in that trailer, we see a shot of a gigantic Hulk-like looking figure fighting in an arena against a person who's using Doctor Strange style magic. So the rumor mill on the internet is that it's Abomination versus Wong at some point on the timeline, whether it's during the 5 years where everybody got blipped or maybe after that. I'm not sure when that movie takes place quite yet.
Interesting.
But I think that is the Abomination, and we will see him again. And hopefully from there we see him in that She-Hulk show or something. I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna go from here with all of that. But yeah, 7.5 for me. I think this movie overall is pretty good. Not anywhere near the top 15 of my MCU list, but it's worth watching, and not the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this movie a 7. It only because he's not my Hulk. It was a good movie, but I don't think it was the best performance by Edward Norton as the Hulk. But it was a good origin story movie. Like you said, I've only seen it one other time and I didn't like it, and I liked it better this time. It was I didn't hate it, so I'm gonna give it a 7. Emily,
I give the exact same score for the exact same reason.
Louise,
6.
Yeah, word. Fair enough.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, there's definitely like some Batman v Superman type aspects of this movie. Just in its whole, like, we're gonna kind of throw it in like it's a sequel, like as if you know everything that's happened before, right? And we're just gonna come in and hit the ground running with this story. But I think you guys are right. Like, adding some of the scenes of like what happened before this would have been beneficial to this movie's narrative.
Yes. It would have made it hold up better long term. Yeah,
exactly. And I would have been fascinated to have seen a Mark Ruffalo in this movie, in this role. That would have been interesting. If we had Ruffles in this Incredible Hulk movie, I don't know.
Do you call him Ruffles?
Ruffles, yeah.
Ruffles have.
I've only ever known one
ridges.
other thing called Ruffles besides the chip, and it was this dog that my parents' friends had. It was called Ruffles. And it was a Lhasa Apso. So when you just said Ruffles, I just thought of Ruffles the dog running through the movie.
So funny.
A Lhasa Apso. I'll show you a picture. It's fluffy. It looks like a mop.
Oh, one of them shaggy dogs.
No.
I like those dogs that look like a mop.
Mm-hmm. Is it time for you to ask a question of us? Since we missed it at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, babe, you can just cut it into the beginning.
Well, okay. Maybe I'll do some editing around.
Yeah,
or
cut it into
it'll be a cool down question instead of a warm up question.
Oh my god.
Louis
ask a question. I don't know.
I can't take credit for this, so I'm gonna give credit to the inspiration.
Okay.
This question goes to the Redman TV podcast I listen to about their soccer team.
Okay.
So here it is. I want you to imagine a world where Hulk is living a civilian life, and the current Hulk state that he's in, which is Ayn Rand Hulk.
Okay.
At the same time, it's a Sunday morning, and he has to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
What 4 items is he?
From the
For himself?
For himself.
What?
Think about this as kind of like a super target. He goes into a super target where they sell just
Everything.
Okay, give me a couple minutes.
What 4 items does he get?
What
No,
for?
that's the whole point. You gotta
Okay, all right.
Well,
Let me go first.
it's definitely not coffee because he already has gamma in him.
Okay, me, deodorant.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call that for your feet? Like
powder, like Arm & Hammer powder.
yeah,
thing?
like
Arm &
Hammer powder, because he's not wearing shoes, but you never know, he might have some chafage going on.
Okay.
And then he's gonna buy himself some new shorts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need no shirt.
Right.
And then he's gonna buy himself some Gatorade.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of like that. I like how I was like no coffee because he's already freaking crazy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
true.
Definitely shorts. He needs my stretchy pants, and he
My
probably
stretchy.
owns like how girls own 1 million pairs of black leggings. He has 1 million pairs of purple shorts,
Yeah.
and he needs another one, right?
Okay.
Okay, so definitely shorts. I agree with that. I'm assuming that Hulk eats like a lot, right?
It probably takes a lot of calories to go
Luis
through
was
those
equating him in his
transformations.
brain to Barry Allen, like how he has to eat like, how many pizzas was it or something? Like 800 pizzas.
Okay, well,
for,
I'm
like-
not going to say food because he would have to buy out like the whole Target, and we only get 4 items,
Mhm.
or the whole grocery store, whatever.
He can just eat it while he's there.
I gotta keep thinking. Go, babe.
Okay. I think that he's going in for some practical stuff, right? So he needs some towels. Homie is always sweaty. Like no matter where he's going, he's sweating up a storm, okay? I think he needs some towels. I think he needs yeah, I mean, you guys are right with the shorts, but
So you're gonna go for a loincloth.
yeah, I think he needs like a tarp or something like that. Just something to have around he can cover himself up with a little bit
A grass
afterwards.
skirt.
So I'll tell you that Hulk fangalang, okay, it'll be coming out. All right, don't matter what you guys see in the
Yeah.
movies. All right, it ain't like that in real life.
I think he'll get a giant bag of dog food for his dog because
Okay.
he definitely probably still has a dog.
Yeah,
And Febreze because his house probably smells really bad.
because he's so sweaty in there.
Yeah, it's so sweaty. I need some Febreze.
I'm gonna say that he also gets. Yeah, he's probably got he's got those Walmart shoes that only cost like $8.50 or whatever. He's got
The
to
white ones?
Yeah.
New Balance?
He's getting a couple pairs of those because once he hulks out, they're gone. All right, it's over. So he's got to keep some spares. And then, lastly, some sleepy time tea. He just needs some stuff to calm himself down every
Oh
once
my
in a while.
gosh,
You
I'm
know,
sleepy.
Even though with the bear.
yeah. Even though it's the middle of the day, it's like, okay, I'm I just got this email. I'm about to hulk out. I need to take something that's gonna chill me out.
Tony's on my ass again.
Yeah.
And then I'll say he'll buy some beer just to experiment. I want to know if that dude can get drunk or not.
Oh, okay.
Just like how Cap can't. I'm assuming that Banner cannot.
And
Well-
how Emily can't.
See,
And how Emily can.
the thing
I
about
want him to get like 2 40s. Like he has a 40 in each hand.
and he,
Yeah.
he accidentally drops one. He's like, oh man, I'm about to hulk out.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know what'd be really funny is if he was drunk as Bruce, and then he hulks,
Oh, and he's
and
still
then
drunk.
he's like, no, he's like, wow.
Oh.
He's
That
like,
sucks.
Bruce, get it together. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
That's a good one, Louis. I like that.
Better
What about you, Luis? What do you think?
All right, so he definitely grunts a lot.
Oh,
so,
Uh-huh.
Oh, he needs a mouth guard? He grinds his teeth?
No, he's definitely getting some toothpaste. You know?
Oh,
His face.
okay.
He's very vain about his teeth.
Right.
You
I was thinking a mouth guard. Like,
Also, I kind of, thinking about how neurotic Mark Ruffalo is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he likes Twinkies,
Okay.
Ah.
but he doesn't like the filling in it.
oh, no.
So because he's Hulk, he just buys a pack of Twinkies and just smashes them all with his hands until all the
Squeezes all the.
cream comes out. And then he eats it, right?
Why wouldn't he like the cream?
Because again, Mark Ruffalo is neurotic.
Okay.
There's no.
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
Ruffles.
He calls him.
He gets some
Ruffalo.
ruffles. Ruffles have ridges.
And since he's kind of adapted to, being the Hulk and being himself and not getting angry anymore,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's finally working up the courage to purchase the latest Call of Duty.
Okay. You think he can handle
oh
that?
my gosh.
Oh no.
can't
With
handle
Korg?
Okay. No, like I said, just because he learned to kind of control it. now,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
with Korg or Fortnite,
My name's
whatever
Korg.
they're doing.
Oh, my Hulk KD ratio is not good.
And then the last thing I think he's doing, the moments where he feels he's kind of gonna get out of control, he's buying one of those, at home, make it yourself Zen garden kit.
Okay.
With the rake.
With the little rake.
The sand.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that would
He's got
make
one
him
of those
mad
bonsai
because
trees.
his hands are so big and he can't put the little stones in there. He's like, no.
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting those little small ones too.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
He's trying to cut his little bonsai tree with a tiny pair of scissors and big old Hulk fingers.
At first, I thought, I'm just gonna get one of those, toy model planes and you can just put it together and relax as a hobby. But then I thought, no,
Hulk doing Legos.
he's more likely to get mad at that and destroy it.
Yeah.
If he gets a little Zen garden, he might get aggravated, but the whole aura and idea behind it might actually.
It'll chill him
Maybe.
out. Yeah.
So those are my points.
That was a good one.
Some
I like that.
stuff. That was
Louis
a
asked a
wonderful
question.
Wow.
All right, so next week we're gonna take a vote, right?
That's right. We're bringing the votes back. It's up to you to choose what movie we are going to watch for our last Summer of Heroes film. For now, we'll
Last Summer of Heroes because Luis has to go back to school soon. Oh dear, he's tickling his wife. She doesn't like that.
yeah, okay.
She screamed it.
Yeah, she screamed.
So we're gonna do a vote on some Marvel sequel movies.
That's right. So next week, you have the option of choosing between the sequel, Spider-Man: Far From Home, or the sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or the sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
So Emily will post it on the gram, and you have to vote till like Wednesday, something like that.
Something like that.
And I'm kind of curious because, I don't know what I want to win. I'm okay with like
All
watching.
three are good though.
All three are
I'm
good.
okay with watching like all of these again.
Mhm.
Two of them I've seen multiple times.
I've seen
one of
I've
them
seen
I've only
Ant-Man
seen
and the
once.
Wasp a lot. I think the most. I think I've only seen Guardians Volume 2 like once or twice.
Yeah.
And then was the other one Far From Home? I've seen it
Spider-Man.
once.
Yeah.
So I don't really care. But also I'm just excited to see what you guys pick.
Yes, we're very excited. So.
Oh, do you want to say the last thing about who's suing who and why right now?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
While we're still on a Marvel kick,
Since we did Black Widow last week.
we did Black Widow last week. Black Widow update. It turns out that Scarlett Johansson and her legal
But
team.
remember how I said I was reading reviews that ScarJo should be ashamed about this movie? And I thought when you guys said she was suing that she just like didn't like the movie or
She was
something.
just mad about how it
She's
turned
like,
out?
I don't like my own movie.
No.
You know, I think that was a bad portrayal of me and my movie.
No, so Scarlett Johansson and her legal team are suing the entire Disney company because of the way that the Black Widow movie was released both in theaters and on Disney Plus at the same time. They say that it was a breach of her contract to put it up on demand at the same time that it was in theaters because that would theoretically lessen Scarlett Johansson's take on the film's theater success or whatever. But it's pandemic times, and Disney responded by saying, hey, actually, we did renegotiate a contract with you so that when we put it up on Disney Plus, you'd be getting some of the Disney Plus money instead of the theater's money. So it's kind of a fight right now,
It wouldn't be smart for her to sue if it wasn't on there. So who's misinterpreting the legal jargon?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to be honest. I understand why she would be upset. Like,
I do
hardcore.
too.
Yeah. We'll get to that point for sure, and I think we should talk about that now.
Mhm.
It's like, sorry, I really put you off. I'm sorry. Why do you think she's doing that?
Well, because number one, this is her last anything.
Her last movie working with Marvel.
She will not be in anything else unless it's like a flashback, but it's not going to be anything where she's going to get any kind of money.
She's not going to be the star of a Marvel movie.
So I feel like,
again.
and she was the executive producer.
Mhm.
So this is her baby.
Yes.
And like you said, it's pandemic time. So I feel like her expectation is one place.
Right.
And she feels like she's slighted. So with all of that emotional kind of, not baggage, but baggage associated with it being the last one and it being her brainchild, which I hate that term, but
Sure.
whatever, I would be mad too. Like feeling like someone undermined the work I put into it.
Right. Yes. And this movie was, not good. I mean, this movie was supposed to come out last year, right? So it was already delayed. And then on top of that, the theater companies are also upset about the way that Disney in particular is releasing this movie because Marvel movies for the past 10 years or so, they just do gangbusters at the theater, right? They're supposed to be making $500 million, $700 million, $1 billion, $1.5 billion at the box office. And now because of COVID and the pandemic, I mean that's just not realistic for anybody. But at the same time, the theaters are like, you are doing us a disservice by putting this up on demand in people's homes at the same exact time that it's supposed to come out in theaters. So that I all understand. What is interesting is that ScarJo and the lawyers are saying specifically that there was no renegotiation of the contract, so they were in breach by putting it out this way. But then Disney responded by saying that, like, no, we did renegotiate, and we're not in breach of your contract, so we're all good to go, and this was all as fair as it was supposed to be. So I'm not sure if they're suing just because it didn't make as much money as they thought it was going to, or if they're suing based on the principles of them releasing it on Disney Plus at the same time as it being in theaters.
Betting man, I would say that she. I don't mean to speak for her,
Mm-hmm.
her team, but like it seems to me, they already made their money. Like it really
Right.
comes down to like it's a breaching contract.
Yeah.
And obviously, in the breaching contract, as a result of that, she could be a driving force.
Right. But I think everybody's losing money, right? You know?
And to all the people that are like hating on her for doing this,
Yeah, I
why
mean,
are you hating on one person for trying to get fair pay?
right, what she's owed.
You know? Like, in my opinion, I equate this to the same thing as Disney employees in Disneyland trying to get a better wage.
Right. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Uh-huh. We know that Disney makes the most money
Seriously.
ever, you know? You guys can spare a little bit more to pay your actors, your employees, all of those types of people.
Man, people need to get on this whole Disney pedestal thing off and get off it. You know?
Right.
They're not untouchable. Get off
Exactly.
that, you know?
Exactly.
If an actor has a gripe with them and wants to sue them, let them know.
And
How dare it is anything like that?
and
She gave 10 years of her life to this. Like,
Right.
You know, cut her some slack.
That's the main thing, is that, like, I think in comparison to her other Marvel co-stars, the ones who have been leading these movies for the past 10 years or whatever, and getting their own roles, they have been, you know, getting paid over and over and over again at these crazy rates for being stars of their own movies.
And you know she has not.
And she has definitely not.
She's
been
like
a side character
tertiary, not even a
Tertiary.
secondary character,
Right.
for most of these movies.
for most of the movies. So her pay could never have been as much as some of these other people. And now that other people are getting their own starring movies, she finally gets her chance to be the star, to be top billed, number one, getting the most money on the movie. And the movie is not going to make any money, so she's not going to make any money. So yeah, I completely understand her reason for suing the big mouse.
And like I get it, you know, being a bit greedy here, she makes a very good amount.
Sure.
Like, compared to the rest of us, I get that argument.
But not compared to RDJ, you know?
Chris Evans, you know, Chris and Chris were out there getting their monies, okay?
Getting paid.
Let her do her, man.
Indeed. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. Like, I don't know if they're gonna end up taking it all the way to court, or if they'll like settle in some way and just pay her and the legal team some money so that this goes away. Because I mean, this is gonna impact like the news and stuff like that. Like, it's
Here's
already
my
big.
honest thought. They will settle outside of court so that they can control the narrative.
Right.
That's my thought. Because
That'd be the smart thing to do.
yeah, because if it goes to court, then all of the details become suspect, right? But if you just get rid of it outside of court, which sounds so shisty, but if you do that,
That
then
happens a
they
lot.
can be like, so here's what happened. We didn't want to have to deal with that, blah, 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 and spin it so that it sounds like there was no breach in contract.
Right.
And that's sad for me to have to put down my Disney like that. But you know what? You don't own the world.
Yeah.
If
You're not the SS. You're not General Ross, mother effer.
they're smart, they're gonna find a way to just everybody finds a middle ground for this word.
Yeah.
One is the villain. You know
Right.
what I
And no one
mean?
feels
Like,
slighted or whatever.
It pretty much just don't burn a bridge either way. You know, Scarro and Disney. And no, she's not burning a bridge by suing. So all you guys
Right.
do, you can get off that once again.
Exactly.
Okay, she's well within her right.
I think Kevin Feige came out and said that he himself was angry at Disney over the decision to put it up on Disney Plus at the same exact time as it being in theaters, which is interesting because, you know, I thought he was in more control of those types of decisions, but you know, that must be somebody above him, you know. I mean, he's like the king executive producer, but there's always a more executive out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all very, very interesting stuff. And we'll see where it unfolds, and we'll keep y'all updated in our future Marvel episodes. But for now, we want you to let us know what you thought of the Incredible Hulk. Hit us up on Instagram. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on social media. Hit us up. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Let us know what you think of this whole Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson situation, and we want to make sure that you vote in our movie choice for next week. Choose between Spider-Man: Far From Home, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and we'll check out one of those movies and have a review for you next week. That has been it for this episode of the Walt Vault. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a rating and a review. That's very helpful. Subscribe to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/thewaltvault. We appreciate all the patrons out there who have contributed their donations and get a little bit of extra content on the back end. And send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com if you want to get your message read on the show. I got one email this week, but it was from a spam account saying that she was very lonely and needed me to come accompany her or something like that. So that's not the exact type of message that I want. But send your emails out, and we'll read those messages on the show. We appreciate you. We love you. We will be back next week for some sequel Marvel goodness. The Vault is now closed.